Hi ladies, I'm back today with a quick video. I almost forgot, but then I remembered I have to get a video in today. So here is a progress video on my two silicones. This is Rainbow. As you see, I got her eyes in, and I think you'll be able to see how much work I did. Quite a bit of work on her today. She has some, I hope we're not going to lose that, have problems with losing that flower she has hiding her privates. Hopefully that's going to stay on there. But you can see I did a lot of modeling on her belly and her chest today. And I did some on her upper arms. And here's some on her legs. And if to some of the artists out there, the Reborn Vinyl artist, as you know, you can do modeling on vinyl with a sponge, but I'm not able to do the modeling with a sponge on silicone because it gives so much. I think that's why it's not staying. So I made up a new way that I do modeling. It's much more time consuming, but it still works well. I take this little tiny, it's like a brush, but it's almost like a Q-tip. It doesn't really have a, like a brush. It's almost more like a Q-tip, but it is a type of brush. So I use this and I dab each of those little dots on there. It takes a long time. I dab each of the dots on there to make the modeling. It's very time consuming, but I think it comes out just as good as when you use a sponge. And so there's her leg, and she's got her big vein going down her leg there. And there's her other leg. So I don't have too much more to do on Rainbow. I just have some touch up, some more modeling colors that I'd like to get on her, and some blushing. And we go over her nails again. I did do one coat on her nails, as you can see there, and her lips and everything. So she doesn't have much more to do, just maybe a few more modeling layers. I'll have to go back too because I just did the modeling layer in her front. And a little bit more detail work, and then she's going to be done and ready for matting with the matting powder. And the matting is the last layer, so the completion. So she'll be ready for that, and I'm going to leave her bald for now. Hopefully I may eventually find someone to root her, but as y'all know, I don't root, or I can't root, or as I would say, don't say can't. I can root, but I prefer not to, because the only thing that I can root seems to be mohawks, and they're great for alternatives, but they don't look so good on realistic human babies. So I will be leaving her bald, and we're going to move to her twin sister. I don't think they look a whole lot like twins, but at least siblings. So here's her sister, and I did cover her with a little piece of hose there. And as you can see, I got veins done on her, and I started doing some of her creases. She's looking kind of crazy right now. Her skin is whatever the silicone. You usually put a tint in the silicone when you're pouring it. So obviously you can see that when I started with her silicone is a lot lighter color than I started with. And I will show you her repairs I did on her head. And she is going to look a lot better after we get done. But see this part of her head that looks a little bit different color? That's a repair I did. She had some divots and deep divots in her head. So I repaired that with silicone. And I don't know if you can tell. You probably can when you look at it close. But I did repair her fingers here. She was missing a tip of her finger. So I actually put another piece of silicone on there and repaired a tip of her finger. And this one isn't perfect either. It's got a little squished. And I repaired her thumb there. So I did a little bit of silicone repair work on her hand and her top of her head. But she's still happy about everything. And they're almost the same size. I think Rainbow over here is actually maybe an inch but longer. But this little girl, she's chubbier in the belly and the head. She's actually chubbier but shorter. She almost looks like a little Buddha baby. But she's so cute. And right here, I don't want y'all to get freaked out about this, but this is her tongue that can be removable that I'm working on. Just did one layer there on her tongue. And there's David Copperfield. He's watching over the babies. And over here, it's probably not as good lighting, but I am working on the giveaway kit. Here she is. So far, I've just got her veining going. You can see the vein on top of her head. Let's see, you can see the veins on the side. And I'll be moving on to her flesh color. There's another vein. Let me see if, let me pick up one of her legs so you can see a little bit closer. See the veining on top of her foot? And she has veining on the inside of her leg and her ankle there. So that's what I've been doing with her. And I'll show you one of her arms. Sorry, you're looking at my computer thing. Wi-Fi. Here's her hand. See the veining on top of her hand there? And then she'll have veining inside her hand, or her arm, I mean. So starting on her, this is the reborn dog giveaway baby. There's her smiling little face. She looks so cute. She's resting. So that's all I want to show you today. And here's my tray where I have all my supplies that I take the supplies from the tray. And if you're interested, this is the actual silicone. It's in 2 parts, and once you put these 2 parts together, you squeeze them together, they have to be equal amounts or it won't work. Once you put them together, then the chemical reaction kind of starts, and that makes the silicone. And this is a silicone you use for painting. It is a different kind that you actually use to pour in the molds. It's a little bit different. So here's some of my paint, some of my brushes, sponges, and other things that I use to paint with. And over here was the actual what I was working on. And there's some of the more brushes and stuff. And this is the actual paint. Let's see if it's dry. This is how you test if it's dry. It is not dry. See that? I'll just rub it off. But that's the silicone that I use to paint on a rainbow that I showed you. I actually used to paint both of them, and it's not dry. But how you know if your silicone is dry, or the silicone paint is dry on the doll, is once that is dry, then you know the paint is dry on your doll. And I'll show you what it looks like. Here's ones I've pulled out. I don't know if they're going to be interested or not, but once it's dry, you can actually pull the silicone out a little. I'm having trouble getting it out. I keep them in here. Here's one. If I can get it out. They're like little divots. Sorry. Just thought it'd be interesting. Here's a piece that's actually dry. See, it's just like silicone. It's completely solid. And the reason you have, people don't quite understand, but you have to paint. You're actually painting the silicone doll with a type of silicone. And that's why it bonds and sticks to it. Because if you try to paint a silicone doll with anything other than silicone paint, it won't stick. It'll come off. So here's a piece of it that came out of that little paint palette over there. Just thought it'd be interesting to see if you wanted to see what that looked like. Anyway, that's all I'm going to show you today. I'm just doing a quick video, and tomorrow I will come back with probably a changing video. I might do Royal because someone asked me to do a video with Royal, my silicone boy. So I'll try to do a video with him. And David Copperfield says bye. He's watching over all the babies, making sure all the painting's going good. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And I will be on video, like I said, probably a changing video, hopefully. And I hope all of you are blessed and well, and you're having a wonderful evening. And please stay safe, and you're always in my thoughts and prayers. I will talk to you soon.